And here you can find the main gates and the towers and the houses and the temples of Adonis and temples of Zeus and all the ancient citadels. This was a town after the formation of Christianity. And in this town you had a Christian church. It's very interesting. And if you look at the foundations, that's what it was, just one little room. And this is obviously where the Christians met. And in the same town, you had other temples. So people visited the temple of Adonis. For example, he was the sun. He was the Son of God, if you like. Here was a counterfeit Son of God. And what did that look like? Well, you can just see the foundations. So obviously here was the building, and you entered in over here, and there was a central hall with two side halls on the side, and here stood pillars separating this hall from the side halls, and there were altars in the side halls, and there was a main altar in the middle. Now, who builds like that today? Every single cathedral on the face of the earth has that structure. Every single cathedral. Isn't that interesting? Now, we could go into great detail there, but we will not. Yes, they're all built like that, exactly. Here is the river Euphrates, so we are dealing with a nice typology of Babylon, if you like. Here were steps leading up to the temple of Zeus, the father of the gods. And if you go to Syria, then the most famous one, of course, was the great goddess of the fountains. And this is the city where they're digging this up, Mari, and they're finding some very interesting things down there. They built with clay, for example, clay bricks. The Bible tells us that Babylon was constructed with clay bricks. Here you have the temple of Bacchus. This is in Lebanon. And fascinating what you find there. This is a pillar, a huge pillar found at Baalbek. This was the largest pillar in the world until they found the other one. This one was discovered in 93. And you can see the size of the man next to it over there. And that's me. I'm just, picking it up there. No sweat. No. It's huge. You cannot imagine the size of these structures. These are actually not pillars. Here's one that was rejected. There's a man standing over there as a scale. And they transported these and built them into their temples. There's one of them lying over there. The foundation stones down here are these huge blocks of stone. How they transported them, nobody knows. This is the Bacchus temple. And it used to be the temple of Baal. That's why the town is still called Baalbek. I'm giving you some history of the apostasy in the past so that we can compare it with the present. Here at Baalbek, you have this temple of Bacchus. Here is the temple of Jupiter with its 6 pillars still standing. Very, very beautiful. And the sun striking the pillars. It was a system of sun worship. Of course, Bacchus, the god of drunkenness and revelry. Maybe this pillar had a little bit too much to drink, I don't know. And if you go into the altar of Jupiter, for example, you found this structure. This is exactly what the god Quetzalcoatl looks like in South America. So you know where the South American religion came from. Then you had Venus with winged lions on the side. The Bible talks about the lion with eagle wings as a symbol of Babylon. And you had this structure over here, the circle with a cross in it, was a symbol of Baal. You'll find it in many, many churches today. If you go to the Jupiter temple further, you will find some interesting structures, lions again, certain reliefs on the pillars. You had these swastikas all over. They were a symbol of sun worship. There they are, somewhat enlarged. You'll find this same swastika under the foot of Buddha. Buddhism uses exactly the same symbol that was used in the temple of Baal. You'll find it on Roman reliefs in ancient times. There you will find it even in the time of the Hittites, the swastika. You'll find the symbol of the circle with the dot in it, used in the past. You will find altars and sacrificial pillars, 3 arches with 3 deities in it. Normally they would have the father, the mother, and the child in them. Here you have another interesting symbol that is used today. Owls and falcons, very popular, and interesting structures like this one, for example. What would you say that structure was? It looks like the Star of David, doesn't it? Now, well, the Star of David has nothing to do with David, and you will not find the Star of David in the Bible. This is a star that was used even in the times of the Hittites. It's a symbol of Baal. You'll find that Islam uses it. There's the name Allah in the hexagram. And here you will find in it. Hinduism uses it. It was used in Baal worship. The half moon with a star in it, or the sickle moon, as is used in Islam, there you'll find it amongst the Hittites. This symbol over here, well, there you find it being used in NATO, by NATO today. Angels, pigs, a woman with a mini dress on, with a golden cup in her hand. These are symbols that tell us that the symbolism in the temples of Baal was identical to the symbolism used in the book of Revelation and in the world today. And we are going to compare, in this time that we're going to spend together, what happened then and what is happening today. A great apostasy towards God existed in the past. A great apostasy exists today. Christ is being dethroned today as he was dethroned in the past. It is time to put him back into the center and give him the rightful place which is rightfully his. In our previous session, we looked at some of the symbols that you found in the temples of Baal and the temples of Bel. And a very interesting symbol was this one over here that you find in Baalbek in the temple of Baal. It's a woman with a cup in her hand. Now, the book of Revelation speaks about a woman that rides the beast that has a golden cup in her hand. Fascinating to find them in the various places. If you go to these temples, you will find that they were temples of death. You will always find tombs in them and bones. Did you know that there is not a cathedral in the world where you will not walk on the corpses of men? No cathedral may be built without dead bodies. In fact, every cathedral is a cemetery. And you cannot say a mass in a cathedral or in a church if there is not a relic of a dead individual in that particular building. So if you walk into the great cathedrals, you are walking on the bodies of men. If you went to the temples of Baal, you'll find little angels. Where in the Bible do you read about little angels? Nowhere. Nowhere. Angels are described in the Bible as masculine and of great power and magnificent beings. In the temple of Baal, they were reduced to tiny little Cupid-like angels, fat little angels. There they are in the Baal temple. Where do you find them today? You'll find them in all the churches. Now let's have a look up here. Interesting symbolism up against the ceiling. Let's draw it a little bit closer. You'll find the eagle standing on a key. There are many churches that use this symbolism today. There you have the great god Osiris with wings and the pine cones. And you'll find the gods and the goddesses of licentiousness, if you like, within the hexagrams and the hexagons. And you'll find the hexagrams and the hexagons on the ceilings of the temples of Baal. Like you can see them over there.